Good morning. It's your friendly neighborhood Tironan, and today we're going to be reviewing the uh, Japanese fighter, the Mitsubishi A6M5 Zero Sen Model 5.2 is what this one was, and this is the Tier 6 fighter. And a little bit of history about that. The Zero Sen had absolutely terrorized uh, the Pacific and China theaters, tearing down obsolete aircraft and proving the superior dogfighter with a tremendous corps of pilots that Japan had picked up during its war with China previously. But this aircraft was introduced in 1944, and by then the Americans and the British, who were primarily fighting their primary opponents in the Pacific, were introducing new aircraft, uh, primarily the XF. Let me try that again. The F6F Hellcat, the F4U Corsair series, um, as well as new attack aircraft. The Dauntless is still in place, but the Helldiver was arriving, and the Avenger had been out for some time and completely replaced the Dauntless. Needless to say, everything the Japanese were facing was faster, better armored, and having much better guns. And the old Zero Sun was just proving too slow and too light to continue to compete. And that information was coming back. Um, at this point of the war, Japan was having a terrible time. Um, in many ways, despite having prepared for a possible war with the United States for over a decade, actually probably closer to 2 decades, um, they just weren't ready. One of the most striking examples that I ever heard to give you an idea of just how uh, tough this war was for Japan in many ways. They had, when they built aircraft, they would take these aircraft and the finished product and push them out the door and hook them up to teams of oxen, and they would be towed down the road to the nearest airfield to be delivered. In comparison, the United States would build new factories, build airfields right outside the door, literally. Take the aircraft, gas them up, and fly them away. And it gives you some comparison to the difficulties that Japan faced during this war. So they had to find some ways to make this aircraft more competitive with its various neighbors. For one thing, you will notice that the notched cowling, which has been revised to make it more aerodynamic, and each one of these notches, you'll see an exhaust stack if you look close enough. In fact, you can just see them there. And each one of them was faced backwards to give maximum thrust of the engine. And as ridiculous as it sounded, it made a difference. The trim tabs, the ailerons, were revised. Um, and it was given with various subvariants of the Mark 52. Finally, they added some armor plate and armor windscreen to the aircraft. All these changes made this aircraft capable of about 350 miles an hour. Now, that still gave an F6F, the slowest of the American fighters, about 30 miles per hour more airspeed. But it kept this the Zero in at least competitive. Let's go ahead and look at the upgrades. This aircraft is fully upgraded. It's got the concise 62 engine in it. This is one of the changes as well. The 7.7s were changed out to 13.2s, and they received we've already covered the airframe changes, and they received better 20 millimeters. Let's go ahead and go to battle, and hopefully I'll do a good job here. This I like the Tier 5, but the Tier 6 is a more competitive aircraft in its tier, and that's because of the better firepower and the greater speed, which it needed. The firepower in the last tier was good, but the speed was awfully slow. And with the revised speed, the Zero was able to better compete with its contemporaries in Tier 6. This, however, is the end of the A6M5 of the Zero line, and then the next tier or next aircraft will be the A6 or A7M Rapu, which was in development all throughout World War II and never really moved into production. It was too late. The war was over. Thank God for both sides. Enough lives have been lost by that time to make any human being sick at the thought. Having played this aircraft more than a few times, I've got to say I really enjoy it. I will say this is a map that is not terribly friendly to it, but at Tier 6 it's one that you're going to see about every other time you play. Its maneuverability is, and turning circle is something that you will uh, enjoy in this battle, in this map. Its lack of speed as you are up there is something, of course, you're going to notice too. There's a lot of aircraft that are giving quite a bit more speed, and you're going to notice it. You still have the 6 second boost, and the most that can be said about it is it's unfortunate. I'm going to go ahead and try to capture this airfield because we need to have a respawn point. Um, you'll notice that one of our teammates is heading off all by himself to that capture point. To the degree that you can, please don't wander off solo. Your chances of success are not good. I can say whatever I want to, of course, and there's always somebody who knows better, I guess. But as you can, um, by this time, the self-defense fighters are getting very, very tough, and in the next tier, they will become even worse. Uh, did a game with my nephew yesterday, and uh, man, is he a good pilot. He really uh, outperformed me twice, and I beat him a couple of times. We had a heck of a lot of fun, uh, and I got to tell you, I got great nephews. Got great nieces, too, and 2 sons. All right, so we went ahead and captured this. We captured the base, and I smell red. Okay, so I'm going to let this guy have it early and often. Try not to overheat my guns this time around, and I'm not going to be able to take this guy on one pass. He's very heavily armored. And we have somebody on our tail. We're going to try to get out of that. And a third fighter grabbed me. Well, that's going to happen in this game. I avoided one attack, But it's tough when you're dealing with multiple attackers like that. However, that being said, I can spawn right back into that battle. There are no less than 4 aircraft here. And I don't like my chances at all. Not even a little bit. We're already down, way down in health points. And I'm not getting a lot of help here. And if I was to advise anybody else on this, I would have told them not to get into a 4-on-1 fight. And having failed at doing everything else, they decide to ram when they couldn't shoot me down. Oh my. This is not the video I really wanted to show you, but we may end up going for round 2. Uh, we'll have to see. I'm going to keep fighting here, see if I can't get you a good video of what this thing can do. Unfortunately, I'm going to take a guess that my teammates are, well, they're doing the right thing here. I'm not going to say anything harsh. They have got 4 capture points. We're going to go ahead and pop in where the rest of my group is and follow them into the attack on the command base here, command capture point. But my playing solo night against 4 and 5 opponents is over. Please take that to heart. I like to consider myself at least above average player, and you notice my effectiveness there. I tore one aircraft fairly good up, but I did not actually kill anybody, and my uh, contribution coming back into that base was 0. Absolutely 0. So don't get sucked into it. Um, I didn't realize that everybody in the world would have left it, but they did. And you know that everybody in the world is also going to be taking a look at you. P38 over there playing his favorite game of lighting you up and running away. And that XFL for the second time has killed me. Cirrus 0201HK. Sounds like a robot designation. Um, Tough game, tough opponent. Hope that we can get a better outing with our next deal. We still have a substantial lead, but I have suspicions that we're not going to be able to pull this off. We'll see. There are an awful lot of aircraft in there, and we do not seem to be having much success. Hopefully my teammates will take this a little tougher this time. And I think me and Mr. Cirrus are due for a talk. And we took it anyway. Hmm. can make all sorts of excuses, but the bottom line is that, like any aircraft, this is a good aircraft. It wasn't shown off very well. I killed 3 targets, captured a sector. Summary is, you know, so-so effort. This has really got to do more with proper team employment than it does anything that I did, and apparently anything my teammates did, which goes to show that, capturing 4 sectors and keeping them for even a very short amount of time will give you a victory. Um, but it doesn't show off the aircraft very well. Let's go ahead and go back to battle, see if we can't have a little bit better luck than this. Watching me get my tail feathers kicked is not my idea of a good time or a good video. So let's see if we can't show this off a little better this time. Because it's a good aircraft. It's fast enough now that it doesn't go quite by the old turn and burn, can't get anywhere, can't chase anybody down. You're still not going to chase down very fast aircraft, but you can engage them a little more effectively. And with the further armament revisions, you've got a good aircraft. It was always well armed in the last tier. That's improved, which is good because the rest of the tier has improved. At this tier, you're facing your primary opponents, and the fighters alone are going to be the Hind, KI-61 Hind, the P-51 Mustang. Let's see where they have. Trying to make out where my teammates are going, and it looks like they're going to do a 3 split. Oh, do I not like that? Okay. Every time I see this done, well, it doesn't turn out terribly well. But we'll see. Every once in a while they surprise me. Trying to get a little boost to get some speed up here. And one of my teammates is in trouble. He's collected all sorts of robo fighters on him. We'll see if we can't help out a little bit on this. Again, I'm going to tell you something that I see a lot in this game is defend your teammates over everything else. Over your personal goals, if you can kill 2 or 3 other aircraft, you're going to be doing better if you keep your teammates alive. And I'm not saying that because I want my teammates always to protect me. Of course I do, but as a player, keeping your teammates alive and in the battle is going to make a huge difference in your game, as you saw in the last game, because I did not get my support or get support coming in. I ended up having a very rough time. In 2 of those 3 bouts that I came in on, I hardly got in there before I got killed, and it wasn't being killed for lack of skill, lack of shooting ability. It was being mobbed. When you get 3, 4 players on you like that, you're not going to win that, and your only hope of winning it is to get your teammates helping you out here. Okay. Now there's your engine for you. It very quickly allowed me to take out a very high altitude plane, and the long reach of that 20 millimeter really helped out. Now the BF-110 is like the Viewfighter or the P-38. What it really, really, really wants to do is strafe, get you in his gun sights, kill you, run away before you have a chance to respond. You do not want to let him play that game if you can avoid it. Um, Sometimes you can't avoid it. But if you're a good shot and you take some time learning how to shoot effectively in this game, you can really make use of those 20 millimeters to pick off people from incredible distances. You do not have to let some of these guys take advantage of you, because a lot of people see a turn and burn light fighter, they think they can just eat you alive. They're going to run up, do their thing, and you're not going to be able to do anything about it. Well, you got some good range on you. Well, you haven't got much boost. You got enough there to get you in range to make a difference. And people think that you're just there to be a punching bag anymore. That's not so true anymore. No, either that's a self-defense fighter or one of my teammates is just not using his head. Now you notice we're getting good strikes on him. Okay, he's out of range. We might have dissuaded him from... No, he's going to go right back in. He thinks he's indestructible. Okay. Well, you're not. And this is a zero sen. It is going to maneuver in all axis almost quicker than you can blink. You may have noticed how fast we turned around and got on his tail. And there's a P-38, and when you see that fog come around them, they are moving extremely fast. And he's going to make a dive here, so we're going to get some hits on him while we can. Disabuse him of the notion that he's not reachable. Hit our boost here a little bit. Try to extend our firing time on him. Now he's hurting a little bit. And we're going to use the range on those 20 millimeter cannons. Touch them up a little bit. And see if we can't get a kill here. All right, so this has been a better outing for us, and I'm hoping that you get a better idea of what this aircraft is capable of. And I didn't want to give you a bad impression of what the aircraft was capable of here and just how much fun you can have in this particular aircraft. And you notice, kind of melted them pretty good. All right, got a grade 3 fighter out of that. We're actually protecting the bastion here, but that's enough to give us a win. Maybe something else entirely, but we can certainly um, attempt to help out our team a little bit. And try not to get rammed by him. I noticed something yesterday that I found just kind of difficult. A lot of our got involved with some folks that were ramming as their primary tactic. I don't know what they thought they were getting away with there, but any chance they got, they were. I don't mean heavy fighters either. I mean that just seemed to be their real tactic, was to be ramming. Weren't interested in shooting guns very much, except It was something to add damage on the way to killing you. And that just seemed really ugly to me for some reason. Maybe I'm wrong, you know. But to me, if you can't shoot, get out of the game. If really the best thing you can do is the best thing you can add to the game is ramming, I really don't think that you got that much to add to the game, to be honest. Okay, so there's your A6M5. It's a really, really good aircraft. I think you're going to enjoy it quite well. It's with this revision, it's not the old turn and burn aircraft that you saw before, and even in the last iteration, it wasn't bad. This is better, and it can compete with its stable mates at Tier 6 much better than there's an incremental upgrade is what I'm trying to say here, and I think that you'll enjoy it. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up then. At this point, you've got a good idea of what the Zero Sen Mod 5 can do, and hopefully uh, if you like the video, please do like it, and I need all the subscribers I can get. I am a relatively new content provider, and your help is both desired and much appreciated. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Thank you for spending some time with me. Bye bye.